Well, hi everyone. It's me. Welcome one and all to the DavKav Direct, aka a fancy way to saying the channel update. This is here to make an easy video in January, but also kind of fill you in on what I have planned, look back on the last year, and just overall talk about the things I'm gonna do with this channel. But of course, let's start by looking back at 2023. First of all, thank you everyone who decided to sub to my channel, which I've gotten over 200 subs last year, which may not have been as big as 2022 because holy crap, but still the fact that people just decide to look at my stuff really means a lot to me. So for everyone who decided to sub at that time or like my videos or even comment, well, thanks. Honestly, I mean it. And yeah, there was a lot of good videos that I made last year. I finally wrapped up live-action fighting game movie marathon, especially ending on a very high note. I got to see Willy's Wonderland, which was insane, and you know, Japanese Spider-Man. That was pretty wacky, especially the cowboy. But of course, the biggest thing I made last year was the top 28 newcomers of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. These have been some of the most ambitious projects on this channel, especially with the fact that I worked on these along with my main videos, which was pretty taxing, but overall, I found it was very worth it. And I do have other videos kind of like this, though I don't think they'll be in this same format because I think I can fit it in one video, maybe? But if you like that video series, one, the entire compilation is out, so I hope you enjoy 2.5 hours worth of content. And two, if you want me to do something like this again, I have multiple ideas. But yeah, if you're interested in all that, just let me know down in the comments below. I would love to make something like that in the future. But that's enough for 2023. There was a lot of other stuff that I enjoyed, but that would have bloated the runtime, so if you're interested, let me know down in the comments and I might make a video out of it. But until then, let's begin 2024. Starting, of course, with... I changed the logo. I've always wanted to change up my logo, mainly because Comic Sans has always been seen as try-hard. But while trying to think of a good replacement, I couldn't stop thinking about how simplistic this was. Just popping in and playing music, so instead of making something else, I just changed the font. As simple as that. And speaking of simple, I've also decided to spruce up the channel itself. Starting with the banner, changing it from this to... yeah, that. And changing the icon from this wacky skeleton to... my face. But that's not the only thing I'm gonna be using, because now... so I bought a cheap green screen. But yeah, I'm gonna try to incorporate a green screen now, just to see if it works or not. It does look a little rough right now, but I'm also new to this thing, so I'm just gonna keep experimenting with this and see what happens. So get ready to see that in future videos. And speaking of future videos, now it's the time you've all been waiting for. That's right, it's time to talk about the future projects that you're going to be seeing every month in 2024. I hope you guys are excited as I am, because I got a lot planned. Starting with... in February, we're going to be talking about Futo-Pi, which in my opinion, is the most overlooked anime of this decade. You won't be seeing this anime in a Gaducked or Mother's Basement video, and I think I'm going to talk about why that is. And then after that... I'm also going to be starting a new segment for these videos, which might live or die. Anyone remember Trash Fires? They kind of still exist. Anyway, this will be Treasures of the Interwebs, where I talk about stuff that you can only find on the interwebs. And I'm starting with one of the classics of Newgrounds, Cactar and Tonberry. This was definitely something from my childhood that I hope to enjoy going back to, even if it looks like it aged. I hope you guys are ready to play with bugs because I just finished Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling. So I hope you guys are ready to see Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door before Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door comes back. So that's the first third of the year, and now that we hit May, we're officially in marathon season. And from May to August, we're gonna be going over that's right, the Shows of Dead Games-a-thon, a marathon dedicated to those games that haven't seen the light of day for over 10 years. But at some point, it got a straight-up TV show. And you know, I'm not gonna really tell you what's gonna be on the docket, but I will give you some hints to guess at. So throughout this marathon, we're gonna be going through shows that involve a Konami title, a Sega Genesis classic, one of the many dead Capcom franchises, and a PlayStation hit that might actually get something later, depending on how this show goes. I don't know, video game franchises are dead until they're not. And that's gonna be the lineup for the marathon. Maybe you've guessed what's gonna be coming, and if not, well, you're just gonna have to wait till later this year to find out. And after we finish talking about all those video games, we're gonna be talking about a video game. That's right, later this year, I'm going to be talking about the fact that I have finished Later Alligator, a wacky pseudo-noir point-and-click game, where you get to solve the mystery of who's gonna knock off this alligator by befriending their entire family and playing mini-games with them. But for now, we're in the holiday season, and that means that's right, 2024 Honkin' Zeebo will be dedicated to the most hardcore dark fantasy series out there, Berserk. I've heard of Berserk, but never actually read or watched it, so, I hope I'm fucking ready for it, because God help me. But then, of course, after trudging through that, we then move on to that's right, Tokuvember will be dedicated to Metal Heroes, the long-lost fourth big tokusatsu, and we're doing so by looking at 2012's Space Sheriff Gavon, the movie. Yeah, I know I should look backwards, but at the same time, I've done a lot of old toku, and they kind of are, all episodic, so I kinda need a little bit more meat this time. I hope you guys are ready to go to space, I think, of a franchise that I've not yet explored, but have always been curious by, so stay tuned for November. And finally, for the last review of the year, we're going to be looking at a Christmas classic known simply as yep, we're going to be looking at Jingle All the Way, the one with Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is gonna be a very, very fun time. So, yeah, I hope you can stick around long enough to, see the chaos that is Jingle All the Way. And yeah, that's the entire year plan. So, once again, thank you all for watching this and keeping up with the channel. Hopefully you can join me on my venture into 2024. But until then, you know, like and subscribe and do all that jazz. But most importantly, have a nice day, and see you then. Thank you, and good night.